Chris Holbrook in the Pony runs a 94 on an 80, off by a bit. A little bit better reaction time, but couldn't capitalize on it. So Kevin Graff in the Nova takes a win. Roger Phillips in that green 69 Nova, the Yenko copy out of Team Sacramento, 1049 for him. Across the street, 961, that's Roger Lorton out of Glendale, Arizona for Team Wild Horse 2. Off and running, Yenko Nova pulling away from the Pony. Pony trying hard to catch up. Can he do it? Nope. It's going to be Roger Phillips in that green 69 Nova for the win for Team Sacramento. Runs a 59 on a 49. Lorton 64 on a 61, but Roger Phillips, let's just say he had about a 5 times better reaction time on that one. Bill Purcell in that beautiful Dodge up against El Camino. That's Joe Accardo out of Litchfield Park, Arizona. El Camino for Team Wild Horse 2. Bill Purcell in the 68 Roadrunner for Team Sacramento. There they are battling it out, trying to see who can keep the bumper out front on the big end. As they cross the stripe, the win's going to go to the El Camino for Team Wild Horse 2. Let's bring Wild Horse up there with 10 points so far, getting up there. Jeff Martin out of Jamal, California for Team Verona in 260Z. The 79 Malibu, that's Wild Horse 1. That's Jacob Trammell out of Casa Grande, Arizona, 79 Malibu. 11:15 to a 10:44 on the Z. There they are closing up the gap. Can the Z catch him? Cannot do it. It's going to be Jacob Trammell all the way. Had a nice 013 reaction time, but look at this. The Z had a 001 reaction time and couldn't best him on that one. Brian Fritz, 27 Ford for Team Wild Horse 1 with a 978. Across the street with a 933. Jesus Vargas out of El Cajon, California in the 74 Vega for Team Verona. Bang, bang, and Team Verona is going to be out on this. Whoa, something blew away there. So that's going to be Brian Fitz for Team Wild Horse 1 scoring the points on that one. Ken Nowicki out of Gilbert, Arizona for Team Wild Horse 2 in that 76 Dart. Across the way, the 71 Nova for Team Sacramento. That's going to be David Rudd out of Wilton, California. 1373 on the Nova, 1186 on the Dart. Boy, Team Wild Horse putting up a good display of teamism over there. There goes David Rudd on his way down, and there goes Ken Nowicki on the chase. There they are closing up the gap as they come across the stripe. Win's going to go to David Rudd in the Nova. 1381 on a 1373. Had a nice 063 reaction time. Nowicki runs a 93 out of an 86, but had an 076 reaction time. Just couldn't overcomp that. David Rudd wins that margin by 3 thousandths. William Reitman out of Maricopa, Arizona in the 82 Dodge Conquest for Team Wild Horse 2. Across the way in that 16 Challenger, it's going to be Tiffany Engvall out of Antelope, California for Team Sacramento. Team Sacramento is going to take a bow out on this one. 038 red light for her. She red lit before William did. It wasn't by too much more. 038 red for her. So Williams takes a victory lap and runs a 58 on a 50. Katie Caesar out of Citrus Heights, California for Team Sacramento in the Nova. Across the way over there for Team Wild Horse in that white 67 Cornet. That's going to be Joe Cox Jr. out of Peoria, Arizona. Arizona car running 1232. The Nova 1396. So Nova's locked in. Joe Cox, he's locked in. And Wild Horse 2 is going to take a bow on this note. Katie Caesar is going to get the win automatically. Joe Cox 081 red light as he fouls out right off the bat. Ted Klein out of Elk Grove, California in the 70 Trans Am with a Pontiac 400, a pure Pontiac for Team Sacramento. Crossway in the fourth, it's going to be a 79 Fairmont for Team Wild Horse 1. Seth Salvador out of Peoria, Arizona. There goes the tree, bang green, it's green for both of them, green lights all the way around. Oh, there they are, build up big speed on the top end, and it's going to be Seth Salvador, the Fairmont, taking the win. Runs a 72 on a 58. Ted Klein runs a 1102 on a 1096. Cannot do it. Purple 72 Duster for Team Wild Horse 2. That's going to be Julie Moses out of Peoria, Arizona. Across the street in the 02 Camaro, it's Brian Cam out of Pacifica, California for Team Sonoma. Right now, Wild Horse 2, 11 points. The next closest, you got a two-way tie between Sacramento and Wild Horse with only 8 points. So Wild Horse 2, 3 points in the lead. Julie can make this 4, or Brian can give it to her. Let's see what happens here. Oh, Julie, red lights out. Brian Cam, Team Sonoma. They're going to double their points to go up to 2, it looks like. As he runs a 45 on a 44. Tanner Sundstrom out of Santan Valley, Arizona. And that white 67 Nova for Team Wild Horse 2. Has a 9:05. Going to give a 4-second head start to Philip Topping out of Saratoga, California. The 011 Mustang for Team Sonoma. That's what a 4-second head start looks like. Looks like Tanner is on a run. Look at that charge. Nice, hard to straight. Can he do it? Nope, can't catch him. Not in time. 13:08 on a 13:06 for Philip. Takes the win. Tanner, 9:09 on a 9:05. Had a little bit better reaction time, but just couldn't quite catch Philip. Team Sonoma takes another point. 2 in a row. Bradley Akers out of Tucson, Arizona for Team Tucson in that white 65 Chevelle. 1078 is Bradley's dial-in. Going to leave first. Across the street, John Jordan out of West Jordan, Utah. 67 Camaro. Whoa, puts it back. Looks like he's going to launch Manassas. Rocky Mountain Raceway with 1006 dial-in. Let's see who's going to get there first. And it's going to be Bradley Akers all the way. Runs a 78 with a 2 on a 78. Nice 042 reaction time. John Jordan 1009 on a 1006 with an 052 reaction time. Team Tucson scoring another point. Mitchell Gately out of Cotati, California in that white 64 Nova for Team Sonoma. The yellow Firebird, 69 Firebird, that's Rocky Mountain Raceway. It's Ty Jacobs out of Tooele, Utah. Ty Jacobs, 071 red light, for Nova right off the bat. Nova basically just runs out the back door for a tuning pass. 68 on 64. Mike Reed in the 79 Dodge D50 threw a little 340 in it. I had one that had the stock 1.8 in it, or 2.0, whatever it was. Hey, got like 42 miles a gallon, so don't laugh at me. Dan Faldowski out of West Point, Utah, running for Team Rocky Mountain Raceway 1, is getting pushed back. Uh-oh, looks like they have a little hydraulic issue there. So with that, Mike Reed gets the victory lap on that one. Runs a 30 on a 24. Nice 018 reaction time. Hope he saves some for the next round. That's Team Tucson scoring another point. So right here we got Wild Horse Pass, Team 2, 11 points. They're 2 points ahead. Sonoma Raceway's got got 9 points. Sacramento Raceway, 8 points. Wild Horse Pass Team 1, 8 points. Rocky Mountain Raceway, 5 points. Auto Club Dragway, 5. Irwindale Drag Strip, 5. Verona, 5. Auto Club Famoso Raceway, 4 points. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, 2, 3 points. Auto Club Dragway Team 2, 2 points. Top Gun, 2 points. Samoa Drag Strip, 1 point. And Las Vegas Motor Speedway Team 1, 1 point. All right, so here we are in Pro. Lots of Pro to go. All right, see what they're going to do here. All right, lots of spectators out there, lots of team supporters. Glad to see all you guys out there. Oh, looks like we're gonna have to do a little bit of attention to the starting line there. So we'll let them do what they got to do, and we'll be right back with you in a moment. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, bright and early, non-denominational chapel service sponsored by Team RFC Racers for Christ. Tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. under the grandstands next to the first aid station. It's kind of an open air deal, so bring your own chairs, bring golf carts. The message by Lee Steyer is going to be "Walk this way." Everyone is welcome. Like I said, it is non-denominational. 7:30 a.m. What a wonderful day to start the day. A lot of you are from out of town, and no sense in missing your regularly scheduled chapel service, so might as well catch one here. Start the day off a wonderful way. That'll be tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. under the grandstands. Bring your own chairs and bring a golf cart. You got some place to sit. All right, looks like we're back in business. All right, so here we go. Team 2 Famoso. That's not a 78 Camaro. That's going to be a. That looks like a 71 Mach 1 to me. 98 Camaro across the street on the left lane. Lane 1, the Summit lane, the close lane. Steve Watkins out of Phoenix, Arizona for Team Tucson. And gives it away. Richie Cleveland done it too, but Steve Watkins did it first, so the Mustang is going to be back. As Team Famoso 2 gets another point. Brad Monroe in the 85 Thunderbird for Rocky Mountain Raceway Team 1. Over there, that's a 925 dial in. Across the way is going to be Ryan Smith out of Chandler, Arizona for Team Tucson in that gorgeous 63 Falcon wagon. Sporting a Chevy 400. Ooh, I just see all the Ford guys cringe. All right, wagon 1022 is going to leave first. Thunderbird with a 925. Going to be hauling the mail after him, trying to catch him. There's the wagon, and the wagon with an instant win as Brad Monroe fouls out by 5 thousandths of a second. And that gorgeous Thunderbird, so we're going to give him a chance to do a buyback. So Ryan Smith for Team Tucson scoring another point. Runs it on and out the door at 21 out of 22. Samantha Kidd over there out of Marana, Arizona. Out of Tucson over there in that silver 73 Nova. Over there on the left lane is Russell Rowley out of Provo, Utah. The 72 blue is silver stripe Nova for Team Rocky Mountain Raceway 1. Green for both of them. This is going to be a good one as they close up on the stripe together. Neck to neck, it's going to be Russell Rowley out of Provo, Utah for Team Rocky Mountain Raceway Team 1. And that blue Nova taking the win. Over there in the 72 Vega wagon, I'm guessing it ain't the stock 4-banger in it. For Team Tucson is going to be Marvin Wolfmeyer out of Vail, Arizona. The red 79 Malibu for Rocky Mountain Raceway Team 1 is Chris Hopper out of Salt Lake City, Utah. He's going to lead first with an 11:58 to an 11:03 on the wagon. Teams on the starting line jumping up down. All right, there they go. Chris Hopper trying to hang on to a little bit of a lead via the difference in the start, but cannot hang on to it. Marvin Wolfmeyer out of Vail, Arizona scoring the point for Team Tucson. Runs an 11:08 on 11:03. 0.83 on the tree for him. Chris Hopper, 11:70 on 11:58 with an 0.57 reaction time, but do the math, Marvin came out on top on that one. Pat Shields in that red Challenger out of North Salt Lake, Utah. Going to be Team 2 for Rocky Mountain Raceway up against Larry Pittenger out of Williams, Arizona. And that 68 Camaro for Team Tucson. There goes Larry trying to close that gap and see if he can't put a fender on him on the front. Cannot do it. Pat Shields getting the win. Larry red lit right out of the gate. So Pat Shields for Rocky Mountain Raceway Team 2 scoring the win. Okay. So it's going to be all right. Looks like somebody lost a fan belt, so they're going to go down and score that one up real quick. Hey racers, another handy tip before you shut the hood, kind of take a peek around, make sure there's no tools, no extra gaskets, spark plugs, wrenches, rags, anything like that. Valve cover breathers. Those always tend to fall off as you make your way down the track. So kind of just take a peek around before you shut the hood. It's going to be Peter Childs out of Ridgecrest, California for Team 2 Famoso in that 65 Nova. Well, let's see the white one. The red one's going to be a 63 Nova. That's going to be Mark Perevalaris out of Petaluma, California for Team Sonoma. Yeah, Marco back in action again. And Marco getting the instant win. Nice double A reaction time. Peter on the other side, 033 on the red side. Going to take a back seat on this one as Marco gets the victory on that one. So Team Sonoma scoring another point. Purple Nova is going to be David Otis out of Pear Blossom, California. 1172 is going to leave first. Cross away, Dean Kirkman out of Madera, California in the 55 Chevrolet for Team Sonoma. Like that, David Otis fouls out by 0.08 of a second, giving Dean Kirkman out of Madera, California in that gorgeous 55 a victory lap for Team Sonoma. Team Sonoma racking some points up. But the Team Sonoma booster club over there is going to be pretty happy. Greg Dreher out of Bakersfield, California in that white 84 Mustang for Team 1 Famoso. Has a 1038 on the dial and is going to sit there and watch while Ron Nichols out of Livermore, California, that 64 Cutlass is going to launch out and take off for Team Sonoma with a 1204 dial in. So that Mustang is going to have to sit there pretty patient for about a second and a half, and bang, picks it up on the lead on hard as he starts to charge. Yeah. Just like that, it's going to be Ron Nichols keeping the lead all the way. Runs 12:11 on a 12:04. Had a nice 0:53 reaction time. Greg Dreher runs a 10:49 on a 10:39. Had an 0:79 reaction time. Couldn't quite overcome that. So Team Sonoma getting another point. Mike Lay out of Clovis, California in that white 69 Camaro for Team 1 Famoso up against a white 69 Mustang for Tucson, for that's going to be Mark Johns out of Vail, Arizona. This right here was your typical late 68, early 69 street race going down right here. Pretty evenly matched, 1017 on the Mustang, 1045 on the Camaro. This takes me way back to Foothill Boulevard back in the day. Or Colorado Boulevard, these races in front of my house. Oh, good start for the Camaro. It's going to be an 060 red light for the Mustang, as he knew he had to try to cut a good light to catch up to Mike. But just like that, Team 1 Famoso with that Camaro's win scores another point. Right now, Sonoma Raceway, 12 points. They are in the lead. Second place is Wild Horse Pass Team 2 with 11 points, 1 point behind. Then it's a two-way tie between Sacramento and Wild Horse Team 1. So Wild Horse, Team 1 and Team 2, both in the top 4 spots. The Chevelle, Team Sonoma. It's going to be Mike Elling out of Rohnert Park, California in the 65 El Camino. Looks better than my old 65 El Camino. Jody George out of Bakersfield, California in the 71 Chevelle. Team 1 Famoso. 1232 on the Chevelle, 1050 on the El Camino. Both these guys cut killer lights. Wait till you hear this one. As they close the gap on the big end, it's going to be Mike in the El Camino, 001 on the tree. Jody in the Chevelle, 008 on the tree. Neither one of them wanted to give up anything. The El Camino getting the win. Dead on with a 9, 1 thou reaction time. That's a 10,000s package you just saw make its way down the track. Jody George, 34 on a 32 of the 008. Coming up next, Tim Moore out of Tucson, Arizona, the 88 Camaro for Team Tucson in the white striped pony. It's going to be Paul Calvert, I think you've heard that name before, out of Lancaster, California, 76 Mustang, Team 1 Famoso. Look at that lead, bang, the Camaro got to do some chasing, a whole lot of real estate to make up in a great big hurry. Can he do it? There it is, Tim packing on the ponies and gets around him at the last little bit. Runs at a 49 on a 43, had a nice 0.42 reaction time. Calvert, 39 on a 29, 0.15, a 3 times better reaction time. Could not capitalize on that, so Team Tucson building up another point. Oh, the Oldsmobile Boogie, 70 Cutlass. It's going to be Mark Warmouth out of Lodi, California, the home of A&W Root Beer. Peggy Burns out of Lancaster, California, in that gorgeous 64 Fairlane for Team 2 Famoso. 1185 on the Fairlane, 1059 on the Cutlass. They have a huge car cruise there every year in Lodi. Bang, there they go. Off and running. Neither one of these reaction times is worth mentioning, but let's see who gets. That's going to be Mark over there in the Oldsmobile, get the win. Runs a 72 on a 59. 92 on an 85 for Peggy. A whole lot closer, but man, she had over twice the reaction time Mark did, and Mark had a 146. Yeah, they're going to look at that and say, what happened? Norman Bergman out of Concord, California, the green 65 Mustang for Team Sonoma. Over there in the 71 Demon, Jeff Kleeman out of Bakersfield, California, with Team 2 Famoso. 1023 on the Demon, 1227 on the Pony. Mustang's going to leave first by, about a 2-second launch, and it didn't matter. Norman fouls it out, 013 red light for Team 2 Famoso. Scoring another big point right then and there before the car even twitched. Coming up next, it's going to bring up 69 Camaro for Team 2 Famoso. That's David Mallory out of Bakersfield, California. Across the street over there on the Pennzoil lane, lane 2, the far lane or the right lane, is going to be Chuck Hawk Jr. out of Tucson, Arizona, the 89 Mustang for Team Tucson. 1098 for Chuck Hawk's going to leave first. 912 on the Camaro. Look at that. Camaro could not hold it tight. 135 red light. Chuck Hawk 049 on the tree. Good for the win. And runs 1108 out of 1098. 907 on 912. David early on both ends. K.O. Mallory out of Bakersfield, California for Team 2 Famoso in that 67 Camaro. 946 is the dial in. Kale's going to have to hang on. Well, John Gray out of Vacaville, California, that's red 72 Demon for Team Sonoma, is going to be leaving first on a 1045 dial in. Oh, check that off. Kale in the 67 Camaro, 976 on the dial in. So 1045 on the Demon, 976 on the Camaro. Demon for Sonoma, Camaro for Team 2 Famoso. There it is, both of them locked in Mortal Kombat. There goes the tree, there goes the Demon, there goes the Camaro, and there they go, racing for that stripe. Wow, Camaro's going to have to make up some room. Can they do it? Nope, it's going to be John Gray out of Vacaville, California for Team Sonoma in that red Demon getting the win. Chris Barger out of Madera, California, Team 1 Famoso in beautiful red Nova. Across the street, 69 Camaro out of Top Gun Raceway. That's going to be Jim Grace out of Fallon, Nevada. Imagine that, running for Team Top Gun. Camaro against Nova, another good typical street race back there. Look at that, Camaro. I think I saw the front end bumper on that one from back here. He had that hanging way up there. The Camaro gets around him easily. 941 on a 937, 024 reaction time. Chris Barger over there in that Nova cut a beautiful 002. Runs a 91 on an 84. But Camaro got around him with a 008. Margin of victory on that one. John Victorino out of Novato, California, in the 96 green S10 for Team Redding. Matt Fritz out of Bakersfield, California, in the yellow Camaro. And boy, is that a yellow Camaro. Team 2 Famoso. Just redlit 092 red for the yellow Camaro. So that's going to give John over there in that S10 a victory round. Another one for Team Redding. Rod Norton out of Stockton, California, in that 70 Challenger for Team Reading. 1046 is the dial-in. Going to be waiting while Dave Champ, across the street from Madera, California, for Team 1 from Moso. Has a 1074, going to leave about a quarter of a second earlier. Watch that little Nova launch. She's going to take off. Both of them hanging the wheels high. Dave had a good reason to, because Rod Norton over there in the Challenger red lit by 15 thousandths. Madera, California, Nova 025 on the tree. Got the instant win. Another one for Team 1 Famoso. Steve Bunch over there in the 67 Nova. Bright yellow Nova out of Little Rock, California. 1149 is going to sit there and wait, while Eric Giacconi out of Eureka, California, in that Ford Ranchero is going to take flight. 1194. 1149, so about a half second, one bowl. Man, they are on and running, off and racing. Here it is, a little bit of a headwind. Keep that in mind on your dial-ins. And just like that, the Ranchero Ford whooping bones today. It's going to be 1197 on 1194, 003 on the tree. Steve Bunch, 57 on a 49, 019 on the tree. Do the math, figure it out, and carry the 3. Eric over there in the Ranchero taking the win. Mark Kirby out of Bakersfield, California, in the blue and white stripe 71 Duster. Team 2 Famoso, 1130 on the tree, going to sit there and hang tight. While Harlan Tucker out of Miranda, California, in the 67 Barracuda, Team Samoa takes off. 1148 to 1130 on the dial-ins. As across the board, almost identical times. It's going to be Mark Kirby getting the win. Harlan Tucker and the Cuda got there first, but 45 on a 48. Ow, a little bit too early. Had a nice 037 on the tree. But Kirby, 40 on a 30, 039 on the tree. He makes good, takes the win back. Tom Brown out of Sun Valley, Nevada, in the 69 Road Runner. Big old 440 in it, out of Top Gun Raceway up north. Vic Hudson out of Bakersfield, California, in the 69 Valiant for Team 1 Famoso. 426 Plymouth. Probably going to be a wedge over. Gorgeous 69 Valiant. Custom bodywork on the rear end there. Does a red light 044 on the tree, giving Tom Brown the win for Top Gun Raceway. Nick Giacconi out of Eureka, California, in the 71 Comet. 464 tucked in between the frame rails there for Team Samoa. 1067 is his dial-in. Across the way, 1212 dial-in on that 69 Camaro for Team 1 Famoso. That's going to be Piper Sloan. Going to put a good one on it. 1212 is Piper's dial-in. 1067 for Nick. As you got typical Ford against Chevrolet. Ready to rock and roll. All right, so here they go. 1212, 1067 on the Ford. There goes the Camaro. The Ford hangs tight, doesn't red light. The last red light does. As he makes his way, trying to trample through. Try to get through the bamboo, through the top end. Cannot do it. Piper scoring a win. 1216 on a 1212. 055 on the tree. Nick runs a 73 on a 67 with an 067 on the tree. Can't finish it off. Piper scoring another one for Team 1 Famoso. Chris Peterson out of Ventura, California, in that white 63 Falcon for Famoso Team 1. 1058 is his dial-in. Across the street, Dave DeBose out of Reno, Nevada for Top Gun Raceway in that green 70 Road Runner. Oh, this is going to be a good, solid matchup. Will be close by the time the times get there. And there they are closing the gap, and the win's going to go to Chris in the white Falcon for Famoso Team 1, scoring another one. Runs a 59 on a 58. David, 57 on a 52. Times are almost identical. 060 for Chris, 067 for David. Okay. And here to call out the fuel war is going to be Nate. What you got, Nate?
Well, thank you, Fred. As Dale Thomas and Marvin Rolls, the marvelous Marvin Rolls, are going side by side. Marvin's going to pick up the win line. 1042 on the 1040, was 24 on the tree. Dale Thomas was 51 on the bulb and then ends up running 30 on a 25 to be 58 thou behind at the stripe. So Marvin picking up the nod out of Chino, California in the Vega. As now Brian King for Team LVMS. Going to roll up here left side. Jim Setterberg for Team Top Gun. Setterberg in the 77 Fendered Nova, 1234, dial in over on the right side. For Brian King, 1017. And no. Brian King fouls it out. He's read by 7 thousandths of a second. Jim Setterberg, he was ready 008 green. And then runs 1236 down the racetrack. Brian King does end up still getting there first by 3 thousandths of a second as he's 1020 on a 1017. And that'll bring up Bill Muller and Kenny Snow. Snow, the 69 bodied Chevelle out of La Habra, California for Team Fontana. 981 the dial in as the wind kicks up here a little ways. Again, kind of saw a little bit of a darker cloud pass over the drag strip, but we are still good to go here as Brian Muller dialed in at 1185 for Team LVMS. Head start's going to go to Brian. Kenny will do the chasing. Off goes Brian. Here comes Kenny. He lost in the 60s Nova, trying to hold off the charge of Kenny Snow down towards the top end of the racetrack, and not gonna happen for Brian. By 3 10,000ths of a second, Kenny Snow gets there first. He was 15 on the tree and goes 995 on the 981. Bill Muller was 1198 on the 1185, and it all came down to 3 tiny 10,000ths of a second advantage, and win goes to Kenny Snow. As Kermit Glenn and Dennis Todd going to be the next couple. Dennis, 1028 dial in right side. For the 68 Camaro out of California, Team Fontana, Kermit Glenn. In the 67 Cougar, racing for Team LVMS Part 2, 1074. Dial in over on the left side. They're staged, they're set, tree drops. They're green. Advantage on the tree went to Kermit Glenn, and the wind light's going to go that way as well on a double breakout. Kermit 1073 on a 1074. He's under 8 thousandths of a second, getting there second. He was 002 leaving the tree. Dennis Todd was 017, so just 15 thousandths of a second differentiated him at this end of the racetrack. Dennis gets their first 9 thou, but the win light goes to Kermit Glenn as Scott Michelle and Joe Henshey. Henshey for Fontana Part 2, 987 dial in for the Little Nova. He's doing the chasing this time against Scott Michelle. And the 68 body dart of Scott, racing for Team LVMS Part 1. 1093 was the dial, 1099 is the run, and Michelle gets the win light as Joe had a reaction time that started with a 2. That was the story on that matchup, and that cost Joe, so Scott moves on as Siggy Mitchell and Kyoki Desa. Running up now. Kyoki dialed 893, Siggy dialed 1080. Mitchell for Team Fontana, Kyoki for LVMS team number 1. Kyoki takes just an extra little second, gets it in, gets it set. Oh! KJ gets bit by the bottom bulb. Red light start for KJ. Siggy was there for the taking. Siggy had a 296 light, goes 1095. Kyoki misses the tree 36 thousandths of a second. The probe bows out. That'll bring up George Rogers and John Irving. Senior, 1118 dial in for the Corvette. George Rogers for Team Fontana, dialed in at 1060. Off they go. Already pulling alongside George Rogers, just past the half track mark. Rogers 1063. Game over and winner as he was 13 on the tree. John Irving had an 078 light. Ends up 65 thou behind in reaction time. Takes 17 thou at the stripe and breaks out by a little over 500ths of a second as he's 11-12 on the 11-18 is Christian Santos and Mike Agnew. Agnew 69 bodied Chevelle, Fort Fontana, 1038 dial in. For Christian Santos, 1098. In the green, Duster. Head start to Kristen. a red light for Kristen. Female VMS having a rough go of it here in round number 1. She misses the tree 15 thousandths of a second, goes 11:02 on the 1098. Mike Agnew, 38 on the 38, was dead on the dial. Put a 3 in the little number column after he was 8th thou, or would have been 8th thou ahead of the red light or green light. Kristen had already lit it up, so Mike gets the automatic win as Howard DeVore and Jonathan Fiello. I guess DeVore had a decent little evening last night in the Gambler race, I believe. I was looking at those results properly. The dogs dialed in at 1078. Jonathan Fiello's dialed in at 1024. Howard trying to grab that point for Team LVMS. He will. 1083 on the 1078 for Howard. At 120 miles an hour was 033 on the tree. Jonathan had the 085 bulb. Jonathan gets there at first, takes a 9th thou stripe, and breaks out 11th thou as he was a little behind leaving the starting line. Here's Josh Gagnon and Pedro Valadez. Valadez, who spent the last weekend here doing a little practicing as part of our final couple of bracket races over the course of the year. Decided to come up and take a couple of practice hits on the racetrack. 10:07 the dial-in for Pedro Valadez. 10:84 the dial-in for Josh. He had graduated out of the junior program here at this racetrack and is now up representing his team in the pro category. Win light goes to Josh. 10:84 was the dial-in, 077 on the green side for Josh. Pedro turned it loose 20 thousandths of a second too soon. And then runs down to be 10:06. Josh is 88 on an 84. With the win light turned on that Pennzoil side of the racetrack nice and early for Josh. He gets the point for Team LVMS Part 2. Sonoma Raceway having a nice little go of it here in the pro category. Here's Tanya Santos and Bill Beatty. Beatty on the left side. 73-bodied Camaro running for Team Fontana. 1032 dial in left side. To Tanya Santos, she's got a 1055 and she is fighting her darndest to stay alive in this matchup. Not going to happen for Tanya. Again, the race comes down to 3 10,000ths of a second. Second one that we've seen go that direction. Bill was 52 on the tree and 44 on a 1032 dial-in to get that win light. Tanya had a 115 light. Ends up almost 600ths above the dial-in as she goes 1060 on the 1055. And just 3 little 10,000ths of a second, Tanya bows out as Wendy Parsons and Dave Beckwith. Beckwith on the right side, Wendy on the left. Wendy out of Monroe, Utah. 1050 to a 1066. So 1600ths the difference between the two as far as the dials are concerned. So red light start for Wendy. Wendy bows out here in round number 1 with an 036 early lead. David Beckwith gets the win light, 78 green, and then he's right on the money. 66 on a 66 for David Beckwith. We'll bring up Hunter Walker and Kip McLean. McLean, the 75-bodied Camaro. Hunter Walker, the 66 Chevelle. Walker racing for LVMS Team 2. Kip McLean racing for Fontana Team 2. 942 the dial in for Kip. 991 the dial for Hunter. Hunter's in and staged. Kip is now there as well. Kip Walker's got some work to do. 949 on a 942 and not enough for Kip McLean as Hunter Walker. 17 green, 12 thou above the dial-in, puts up a 29 thousandths package. Kip had a 119 light and had no chance at that one, so Hunter Walker gets the point for LVMS Team 2. As Mike Avatable and Baron Barler going to be the next couple. Baron, he's on the right side, dialed in at 1018. Mike Avatable, he's on the left in the Topolino, dialed in at 909. Red light start for Avatable. He misses the tree by 40 thousandths of a second. Baron Barler was 11 green and then runs 1016 down the racetrack. Avatable goes 935. on the 909. I'm going to bring up Kevin Humard and Sal Kasha. Yeah. Dan Riem up here in the tower making note that lane number 4 for Team LVMS in the buyback round will be full. There's going to be a lot of folks hanging out back there. Kevin Humard and Sal Kasha. Kasha with Team LVMS. Sal, just keep this in mind. We've already got all that we need in the buyback round for Team LVMS. Okay? Kevin Humard in the Camaro. Running for Team Fontana. 9:55 was the dial-in for the Camaro. 11:20 was the dial-in for Sal. Sal, you were supposed to keep this in mind. 0:28 on the tree for Kevin. 9:66 gets the win light. As Sal Kasha ends up running 11:34 on the 11:20. That's going to bring up Robin Harris and Val Humard. Val. 84 bodied Camaro for Team Fontana. Robin Harris. All right, Robin. Sal didn't remember. Hopefully you'll remember. We don't need any more Vegas team members in the buyback lanes. Just don't need it. Right? So the 1034 showing up left side for Robin. A 1048 showing up for Val on the right. They're off of the way. Trying to get it done against the El Camino. Val Humard wants to avoid the buyback round herself. She will. 1048 on the 1048 was 042 on the tree. Got the bulb and ran the number to pick up the win light. As Robin Harris ends up 1039 on a 1034 after he was 033 on the reaction time. So better bulb went to Robin. But the win light, I guess that would be the better bulb. I mean, reaction time wise, it's like, hey, I got a good reaction time, but they got the win light on their side. I don't like that. Val Humard gets the nod as Joe Magarelli and Ryan Humard. Ryan, 64 Nova out of San Dimas. And Joe Magarelli, 86 Camaro out of Henderson. 949 the dial in for Joe. 1029 the dial in for Ryan. All right, coming down to the end of it and close. So again, final call close. Well, Joe wasn't red. But Joe also wasn't 006. Ryan Humard was 006 and 1036. Gets it done. Joe Magarelli, 951 on a 949, but had a 168 bulb. As Kelly Davis and Neil Evans next. Neil, 1114. Kelly Davis, dial 1045. As Miss Kelly went a bunch of rounds last night in the Gambler race. What, made it down to like round 7? It was a lot. Let's see. 11 in Malibu, I believe is Jesse's car. Win light goes to Kelly. 1049 on a 1045. Kelly Davis gets the win light with 054 on the tree. Neil Evans had a 77 bulb and then goes 1119. On the 1114 is Tim Keeler and Trey Summers. Going to come up now. Trey in the two-tone 56 Chevrolet. Tim Keeler in the altered, running for Team LVMS. 849 the dial in for Tim. 1033 the dial in for Trey. And are you ready? They are now. Trey fouls it out. Misses the tree by 13 thousandths of a second. Tim was on his way to being red, but Trey moved first. Tim ends up running 8:56 on an 8:49 dial. Trey Summers, 10:35 is what he runs on a 10:33, but Trey missed the tree by 13 thousandths of a second. Things are not looking so good. As Scott joins and Jason Horn. Jason dialed 1018. Scott dialed 1092. Head start to Scott. Red light to Scott. Jason gets the red light. Jason 1022, 128 miles an hour for the win. Was 094 on the tree. Scott joins. Misses the tree by 24 thousandths of a second. As he leaves early, that's going to bring up Jake Evans and Bob Lohman. Bob 1090 dial in. Jake Evans 1212. Again, a popular number here today. Jake left side. Bob right. The love truck. Oh! Red light start for Jake. As we mentioned, lane number 4 will be really, really busy in the buyback round. Jake ends up running 12:18. Bob Lohman 1096 on a 1090. Oh boy, oh boy. So Bob gets the nod. Team Fontana gets the point as Dennis Ratcliffe and Kim Clover are going to be the next couple. And motorcycles, just wanted to give you the heads up, motorcycles, we are getting closer and closer and closer to bike time. So please, make sure you got your bikes ready. The call will be coming out here in just a little while. But again, you are on deck, you should be ready. So if you would please, be ready to go. Here in just a couple of minutes. Kim Clover for LVMS Team 2 bows out, was 101 on the tree. Dennis Ratcliffe 054 and then goes 1271 on a 1243. To get the victory is Trevor Hayes and Carl Gagnon. Next to Gagnon, Red Mustang from Vegas. Trevor Hayes, Gray Camaro from Altaloma. Team Fontana, number 2, represented left side. So with a 10:27 for Trevor and 11:50 for Carl. $11.50 in the win for Carl as Trevor Hayes early by 10 thousandths of a second. Gagnon ends up running 11:65 on the 11:50 as Casey Merrill and Johnny Graham. Johnny G. 1192 dial in for the red Camaro right side. For Casey Merrill, 67 El Camino. Dialed in at 1185. Ready. Set. Go. Johnny. Casey. Down the drag strip to determine who will get to advance. It's going to be Johnny, 1194 on the 1192. Gets there first, gets the win light, was 21 on the tree to Casey's 089 light. Casey ends up running 2 above the dial, but had given up too much as far as the reaction time advantage was concerned. There's John Irving and Rob Strong. Just real quick, just so that everybody knows, the buybacks will be handled in the staging lanes. So just if you are one of those that is going to be interested in participating in the buyback round, which I know everybody's kind of like, yeah, well, I don't want to really admit it, but that's going to be me. So if that's you, we will do the buybacks in the staging lanes. So you guys can just kind of chill, relax, hang out, have a good time until it's time for the buyback round. At that point, we will handle the buybacks in the staging lanes. So there is no need for you to do anything else, just when it is time for the buybacks, come on up into the staging lanes and have your money ready. That's where we'll go ahead and take care of that. Rob Strong getting the win for Team Fontana over John Irving Jr. Strong goes 1069 on the 1066, was 20 on the tree. John Jr. 1164 on the 1156. Yeah, that's going to bring up Phil Irby, as he's dialed 1159. 1190 dial in, showing up left side for the Chevelle. Let's see. Chevelle leaves green. The Dart leaves green. Finish line says win light goes to the Chevelle. 1199 on 1190, came down to 8 thou with the stripe. Winner's going to be the Chevelle. Phil Irby goes 1167 on the 1159, was 041 on the tree. And that's going to bring up Gary Harefield and Bob Norbum. Norbum, 69 body Grand Prix, 1235 is the dial. Gary Harefield dialed in at 1238. And as we were talking, and discussing with our motorcycles, the time has come, motorcycles. I'm going to start calling you into the staging lanes. Motorcycles, round number one. Motorcycles, round number one. Come on down to the staging lanes, please. Motorcycles, we will take you. Bob Norbum gets the win as Gary Harefield goes red by 4 thousandths of a second. As we'll now bring in John Hildebrand and Jake Guadagnolo. Which, oh, by the way, remember, we are still looking for a lost cell phone. If you happen to be out and about and find a cell phone that is not yours, that somebody does not appear to have possession of, please bring it up here to the tower. We'd like to get it reunited with its owner. It's kind of a no questions asked type thing. If the phone was misplaced, and if you've got one laying around, please bring it up here to the tower so we can get it back to the owner. Jake was 19 green and 22 on a 21 for the win light, as Team Sonoma gets another win over Team Barona's John Hildebrand. Hildebrand was 30 on the tree and then 4 off the dial with a 64 on a 60. As Stephanie Paz and Ron Rios going to be the next two. 1075 the dial for Ron, 1014 the dial for Stephanie. Pre-stage bulbs are lit. Ron Rios locks it into position and then leaves early. Misses the tree by 6 30 thousandths of a second, and it looks like Ron may have a broken race car as he is going like slower and slower and slower, possibly just a little frustrated. Saving it for the buyback round. Stephanie Paz, 1013 on a 1014 with the win light on. She moves to round two. Ron Rios will be back in the staging lanes here in a little while for a buyback, as that's going to bring up Eric Reyes and Henry Robertson. Robertson dialed 1254. Reyes dialed 916. Sacramento versus Sonoma. Tree drops green for Henry Robertson. Tree drops green for Eric Reyes. Sacramento is way down the racetrack. Here comes the Camaro trying to get it done. Nope. Henry Robertson holds on by 4 thousandths of a second. He was 16 green and 1256 on a 1254. Reyes was closing in fast, but runs 913 on a 916 and will not be able to catch Henry Robertson. So that'll bring up Paul Wagner and John Schur. Schur's got the 1080 dial in. Wagner's got the 1241. And again, motorcycles. Time to make your way to the staging lanes, please, for round number one. Again, it's going to be Formoso in lane 1, Wild Horse in lane 2, Rocky Mountain Raceway in lane 3, LBMS in lane 4, Fontana in lane 5, Verona, Sacramento, Albuquerque, lane 6, Top Gun, Redding, Samoa and Irwindale, lane 7. Sonoma, Tucson, and Western Colorado in lane number 8. Win light goes to John Schur as Paul Wagner fouled it out. Jesse Adams, the number 1 stunner, stuns himself. Fouls out by 11 thousandths of a second. As Robert Glass gets the win light, 963 on a 961. Hey, if you were one of the 16, the top 16 in the run for the money last night, the payout window is now open. If you'd like to come up here to the tower and see Mike, he'll get you squared away with that. So again, if you were one of the 16 in last night's run for the money that will be getting payout, the payout window for that is now open. Coming up here and find Mike. He'll get you squared away with what you are owed. So that is a good thing. Oh, that's not a good thing. Paul Sanders went red by 32 thousandths of a second. Tony Trim getting the win light. Getting a free look at 8:23. He goes 8:21. So with Paul Sanders picking up the victory, coming down to the end of it here in our pro category. Again, motorcycles, you have been called into the lanes, please. Motorcycles, you've been called into the lanes. Need you there, please. Gage Cameron and Scott Smith. Cameron in the El Camino, Scott Smith in the Chevelle. 11:09 the dial in for Scott on the right side. 11:67 and the head start goes to Gage on the left, and the win light's going to go to Gage as well as Scott Smith turns it loose 54 thousandths of a second too quick. Gage 11:90 on what he thought would be an 11:67 run. We got more, and I mean more. Pro cars rolling up now. Sasha Hofer and Rob Vegesa. Vegesa out of Santa Quinn, Utah. 71 Demon. 1240 is the dial. Sasha Hofer dialed in at 1211. So the final pro cars have exited the staging lanes, and with that, I want to put on another call. Motorcycles, second call to the lanes, please. Motorcycles for round number 1. Second call, come on down. Win light to Rob Vegesa as Sasha Hofer fouls it away.